Here on NBC Sports Engine, following a fantastic rendition of the national anthem by the local Philharmonic, we're going to get you the starting 11s presented by YTech, seeking top computer engineering and cybersecurity professionals. Join us today at ytech.com/careers. Elton, first for the Charlottesville Blues, they've had a lot of success recently, and this is a lot of the players that have gotten them that success.
Yeah, you can see now in the last 8 games, they only lost 1, and a lot of those players coming from very, very good programs. It's going to be a good challenge.
Jambor Paul, the Hungarian up top, will certainly be a nuisance. And then for the Annapolis Blues, we're at the time of the summer where a lot of players have had to go back to their college programs. So some familiar faces, some guys getting some deserved minutes here at the end of the season.
Yeah, we can see Oliver Snowden getting a start today, but a lot of players also playing a lot of games and have a good bring a good core to us. You know, you see Matt Helfrich playing pretty much every game. Ian, Webb Johnson, you know, Brady Gihu in a fantastic form. So a lot of players playing a decent amount of games.
And Owen Allegro in goal. He was the main goalkeeper last year. And then you get a look at the Charlottesville Blues. And Elton, you were talking about it as we'll get you our keys to the match presented by Adaptive Engineering, software development, system engineering, and cybersecurity solutions in support of the intelligence community. Check us out at goadaptive.com. Well, we talked about keeping up the good form. They want to play leapfrog. They're right behind Annapolis in this table, 19 points to Annapolis' 21. They come out with a result. They finished that bit higher.
Yeah, they're in a really good form. You know, a lot of their losses came in the beginning of the season, which we never know who is on the field. You know, like with the college maybe ending later, or, you know, like we don't know what happens. But since the last 8 games, they're doing really well. And they want to finish on top here.
And for Annapolis, you know, this is the final game of the season here in Naptown. It's been an up and down season, but they really want to finish strong, and it is fan appreciation night. They want to, you know, put on a show for the Blues faithful.
Yeah, last weekend when we were here, you know, Annapolis played like we're going to play 4 games in a week. Yeah. So it's a really busy week. We had one of the best games we had so far at the Navy Stadium. So why not keep the good form and finish strong? And give the fans what they deserve. That's a good soccer game.
Well, I had a chance to catch up with Colin Harriott, the Annapolis head coach, before the game, and he was talking about how, you know, if they get a result today, that's a final record of 8-6. For any team new to USL2, that would be seen as a huge success, a really good result. But because Annapolis had so many positives in the NPSL, he said they've kind of been a victim of their own success because of the standards set in the last 2 years. But he was very proud of this lineup and this group that has been put together. We got a lot of people in the house tonight. You can see Stephen Hooper there to your right, Assistant General Manager and Director of Marketing for the Blues. We'll be talking to him at halftime. You have Colin Harriott in conversation with his players down there left side of your screen, just exiting the frame. And he's been a huge part of Annapolis' start to the club's existence, now in its 3rd year, and we get to put on, you know, kind of the punctuation of this year.
Yeah, always coming to a new league is difficult. We spoil ourselves. Yeah. And it's a positive first year in USL.
A battle of the Blues underway from Navy Marine Corps Memorial Stadium. The Bay Boys already in full voice, the supporters group that have been with the club since day one back in 2023. And they have been in full voice for all of 2025 as well. Charlottesville Blues have had many more draws this season. Elton, you and I were joking before the game. Annapolis hasn't drawn a game this year. I think you put it as very much all or nothing.
Yeah.
With their 7-6 record coming into this game.
Yeah, soccer is a funny game. No, we play to win every game. We're not a club or a team that will sit back. You know, we're gonna keep pushing and pressing higher and take our chances. And I know Coach Colin, he wants to do everything in his terms. You know, that's something that I learned with him a lot. Like, we dictate our fate. So I think that's a little bit the reason why we don't have those ties, because we go for it, you know. There's no fear, no regrets.
No parking the bus and kind of hoping for...
No, like we play against teams. Like when we came to the league, we knew, for example, Lionsbridge would be a very good adversary.
Right.
Now they have been dominating the league for the past years. We went for it, you know. There's no like you said, we see very often teams coming to the Navy Stadium and sitting back and try to, frustrate the Blues. No, we are the ones that frustrate the opposition, and that's the mentality here.
Annapolis has had some pretty good possession in the early stages, now looking to get in behind and start things off with a goal. The Blues are on the board. Emmett Kirshner has set sail here in Naptown. His first goal of the season sends the Blues fans into a frenzy. Not even 2 minutes in, Annapolis 1, Charlottesville 0.
And they begin the play with the two of the most consistent players this year. Now, Taku Takahashi and Matt Elfridge, they've been great for the club for the past 2 years. And, Kirshner, like, really good run, really good in making sure that the ball goes in towards the end. I need to make sure. Very, very good start for the Blues.
They are loving it here. The flags are up, the drums are going. And now it has to be said, that is a much tougher finish than it looks. You have to get that perfectly, just enough to get it over the goalkeeper. Not too much that it goes over, not enough that it gets the keeper.
And his body position, he's almost waiting for the ball, so you don't see the goalkeeper coming. And, you playing by his instincts then, very good finishing. And I love that he followed through to the end, Some guys assume that the ball is going in, and, you never know. So he went all the way through.
Well, you saw at the very end, it was Joshua Yoder who was bearing down, he got more of Kirshner than he did the ball to get that cleared out, but I don't think Emmett minded much. He had to go celebrate. And you talked about Matty Helfrich, who, taking this throw in now, played that fantastic ball in behind. I was talking to Colin Harriott before the game, and I told him just kind of anecdotally that Matty Helfrich was my personal player of the season. He was like, I couldn't agree more. He has been the most consistent player, as you were saying, for the Blues this season. The Georgetown fullback leads the team in minutes for outfield players. Just so reliable.
And, he's a player that he knows his strengths and his weaknesses. And he plays on his strengths all the time. And he makes sure that his strengths are highlighted on the field. So he's a physical player, so he goes for the battle. He makes his runs. He makes himself available. So, in soccer, there's few things that you can control, and your fitness, your intensity, how much you put on the field, it's one of them. And Matt Helfrich mastered that. Now, in a good day and a bad day, he's going to give everything on himself.
Well, and that's one of the reasons he's wearing the captain's armband today, Matty Helfrich. Has been so consistent, lead by example kind of guy. And as you've been calling him this season, what are the motorcycles? Just getting up and down the flanks. Now Annapolis getting forward, searching for a second. Slipped into the box now. Machado cleared away. Not cleared just yet. Shouts of a handball. In the box in the booth, Elton, you thought there might have been a ricochet up off an arm.
It looked like from the distance.
I don't think it needs to be said, but we do not have VAR here at USL League 2 level. But what an opening 5 minutes of game action we've had. We've already had a goal. We've had some good moments. Exactly what you want. These are not teams that are, it's the end of the season. It doesn't matter. Neither team's in the playoffs. They want to win this game for pride, really.
Yeah, my first thought about right after we started, sometimes players, we do this in life. We put so much pressure on ourselves that we cannot relax and play and have fun. And today is a game that I feel that the way we started like without pressure. Yeah. We just want to come here and play and entertain and give our best. And I feel that's going to be the dictation of the game here. We almost had a second chance with Rafa there. And today is the day that is giving us good vibes.
It just seems, they've had these moments throughout the season, but that goal was pretty representative of the goals we've seen over the last 2 years. Just the quick movement in behind, the great finishes. That's what this Annapolis club has become known for in their first 3 years. A lot of holdover players from the past season, some new ones into the mix as well. What a fun year it has been for Annapolis. Quickly taking on the restart for Charlottesville. Samuel Vigilante trying to get in behind the Princeton forward. 39 career games for the Tigers. And one of the coolest names we've had this season. So Charlottesville finds themselves in this early hole. It's a situation they've been in a couple times this season. Sometimes they have been able to fight back. Other times it's been too much for them. But Vigilante will take this corner kick from the near side. In swinger with pace towards the back post, going up to meet it, but out of play. Owen Allegro, as we said, is in the goal, now in his third season with the Annapolis Blues. One of very few players that have been here all 3 seasons, a guy that you know very well. What can you tell us about Owen as a goalkeeper?
He is an outstanding goalkeeper and very good with his feet. His first year with us, he was a rising freshman to Catholic school. And between, I think him and Matti are the ones that have been here all 3 years now. And a goalkeeper, we talked about that a couple games before. You know, it's such a tough position. It's hard to have a chance, and it's hard to, you know, even like if you're doing well, if the guys in front of you is also doing well.
Right. Only one plays at a time.
Only one. So you have to be patient. One thing about goalkeepers, they're very, they cheer for each other. No, they're very united. Like they
healthy competition.
Yeah, I think they have a union or something like that.
Union. Yep.
So, yeah, Owen is just waiting for his chance. No, and he has that today. You know, he's doing really well for Catholic school as well. So, a good guy, very good guy.
Migdio Tormo Lopez was the consistent #1 this season. He's had to go back to his collegiate duties with UMBC, but Charlottesville on the back of another good spell of possession has won a corner kick once again. It will again be an in-swinger. The last one had a good bit of pace on it. Towards the back post, headed away by Kobe Kiyomani for Annapolis. One of several American University players. Actually, 3 of the 4 back line is from American University for Annapolis. The other being the lone Georgetown Hoya back there, Matty Helfrich, who we talked about. Charlottesville not letting up, pinning Annapolis back into this half and resetting possession.
You know, and another American player having an opportunity to start today, Oliver Snowden. So have another American player here. You know, give a little bit of consistency. You know, you're playing with these players in the fall, and sometimes you know what your teammate is going to do without even talking, just looking, you know, to him, you know what's going on, and that kind of chemistry, it's important as well.
And if you're a college coach, you got to love it.
Oh, yeah.
What do you mean 4 plus of my players are playing together all summer leading into this fall season? I mean, we talked about it with Georgetown. You've had your Matty Helfriches and your, you know, everybody, your Max Vieira's, Jack Brown, and, you know, the list kind of goes on and on. And, I mean, that really started with Noah Satriano going into his freshman season at Georgetown as well. If you're anybody on that coaching staff for any of these local colleges, you have to be pleased that these guys are getting that familiarity all summer long.
Yeah, because, you know, in the college system, you keep hearing stuff about going to 10 months, going to 12 months.
The 21st century model. Sasha Sarofsky would be not pleased with me if I didn't mention it by name.
So, you know, they don't play that many times together. If you can have that extension of playing time together throughout the summer, why not? You know, and in a good level, no?
Here's Charlottesville, right side of the box, clipping it towards the center, leaves it. The first time shot is blocked by Helfrich. Follow-up is in! And the Blues are level with the Blues. Parity in Annapolis. Sam Roberson gets the equalizer for Charlottesville. It had been coming for Charlottesville on the back of really good attacking play.
Very good first block by Helfrich, and unfortunately the ball came back straight to him, and a good finishing, unlucky coming through his legs.
If at first you don't succeed, try again. Charlottesville did just that. And it is 1-1. Roberson, his first goal of the match and first of the season for the Campbell University midfielder. And we are back underway as we were when we started, 1-1 between Annapolis and Charlottesville. Elton, we've only played about 12 minutes of game action, but it felt like the first 4, 5, 6 were very Annapolis possession heavy, and then it flipped very quickly to Charlottesville. Not often you have that kind of swing in the first 10, 12 minutes.
No, it's exciting game, no?
Yeah.
Exciting game. You see two teams that want to play and want to attack. It's important to control the game right after you score a goal. No? It's natural for some teams or for your team to drop a little bit, and the other team say, no, okay, we have to score, need to go forward. So control that next minutes. So I think that's a opportunity now for the Blues, for our Blues, to try to control the next minutes and get on the front foot.
It is one of those nights where we're going to have to specify which Blues we're talking about.
Yeah.
Well, these teams have not faced each other since the first game of the season, and this one chipped over top and in. And just like that, the pendulum is swung back to Charlottesville. It is 2-1. It is 2 quick goals for the visitors. We talk about that momentum. This was played over the top for Graham Dugald, who made no mistake in lifting that one over.
Just unlucky moments. No, the ball ricocheted to him and back a couple times before he made the central run. It's just one of those that it's hard to predict, hard to defend.
Ian Webb-Johnson, the Annapolis defender, putting his body on the line, getting tangled up in that net. We've seen Ian Webb-Johnson make a couple goal line clearances this season. Certainly one to leave it all out there, but that one, we talked about Kirshner's being chipped to perfection. That one was nearly inch perfect.
Yeah, it's a hard finishing.
It was only 112 seconds between those two goals for Charlottesville. Annapolis got out to a flying start in the opening 2, and we've had 3 goals in the first quarter of an hour.
That's not a game. That's not a situation that you see every game. Like I said, after the goals, it's important to control the next 5, the next 10, and not let the momentum to turn.
A giveaway at the back. Charlottesville looking to capitalize once more. On the right-hand side, they've settled into some possession. Here's the most recent goal scorer in Dugald. Blues of Annapolis win it back, and Brady Guijo is fouled, and already some tempers flaring. Brady Guijo is a big guy and not one to shy away from a challenge. Referee's already having to do some mediating. Our officiating staff for tonight, Domenico Giardina, who has to sort this one out. And a pretty clear foul, and I think the frustration was maybe that Brady Guijo grabbed a bit of the leg there. Again, Domenico Giardina, Declan McGarry, Justin Saporito, and then Lionel Brito is the head referee for tonight. Fizzing pass, trying to break some lines, broken up by Charlottesville. Now again, the visitors trying to spring the trap down the left-hand side. Annapolis retreating. Ian Webb-Johnson hits the eject button. Good work by Joshua Yoder, but Annapolis pinches it back. There's Dan Klink. Scored in the last home game for Annapolis. Trying to feed this one into the middle, but didn't have a ton of support with him. Great bit of skill here. All the way over towards the near side. Here's Fiddler. fizzing it across in a telescopic right leg of Ian Webb-Johnson. Here's that one out of play. It'll be another corner kick coming up for the visitors, but some good defending here.
Yeah, it was a tough one. It was a 2v1 against Halfridge. He did really well holding his position as long as he could to not expose himself on a wide area.
The sun has started peeking out from behind the Annapolis clouds. Charlottesville clips in this corner kick towards the back post, loose on the ground. Last off of Annapolis, and a Charlottesville corner kick coming up from the far side it'll be. It'll be taken right under Eager Pavilion that has a lot of faces, a lot of familiar faces watching on, a lot of the Annapolis ownership group in town. This one again will be sent in. It'll be an outswinger this time. Headed away at the near post by Brady Guijo. So you went in the lead in the first 2 minutes of the game. Now, just only a handful of minutes later, you were trailing 2-1. It's kind of almost mental whiplash in a lot of ways. How do you try to adapt to just what this game's been throwing at you?
I think that shows a little bit about the momentum from the Charlottesville team and what they're experiencing on the last games. Now, a lot of their games that they tied was like 3-3 game, 2-2 game, so they're used to this back and forth. For our Blues, for the Annapolis team, we need to go back and try to control the game, have longer possession, settle a little bit more, as we did in the very beginning of the game.
Charlottesville, as we said, sits on 19 points, currently in 5th place. Annapolis with 21 in 4th. You get to the final day of the season, and there could be some leapfrog between 4th and 5th. It's not exactly for Champions League places, as it often would be. Out of the near side. Evan Fiddler from the University of Mary Washington in the corner. Defended by Kirshner, Annapolis' lone goal scorer so far. And the Blues of Charlottesville have another corner kick. Annapolis comes into this a goal differential of +6, Charlottesville +8. So they have done a pretty good job of getting the ball in the back of the net. 24 goals for, just 16 against. Annapolis has conceded 22 times and scored 4 more with 28. So a very, very level game coming into the final day of the season. Again towards the back post, headed out by Annapolis, and then that one hit askew by Jaden Shea Bailey out of the University of Chicago. And it has to be tough for Owen Allegro, who, as we said, has not played many minutes yet this season. Really not much he could have done different on either of the goals that were scored early on. But
yeah, that's goalkeeper's life, no? He couldn't have done anything. The 2 goals are very good goals, very clean. It's just unfortunate for him.
This kick driven towards midfield. Guijo under it. Now Evan Kirshner. Some great skill.
This is important to settle offensively with patience. We've been defending for a longer period of time, and now it's a good time for us to keep the possession, to frustrate the opposition, and cope back to recover our legs. Always defending is always tougher than attacking.
Annapolis trying to get that offense going. And it is tough because we talked about that opening goal being quintessential Annapolis play. Then all of a sudden you're forced to be on the back foot, and you can't continue that momentum, that kind of rhythm that you would have been able to perhaps get into.
Yeah, like I say, Charlottesville, that's the beauty of this division. The DMV is so rich in soccer. Every single team has good players. We're going through the Charlottesville roster, and we're talking about like they're all coming from very good schools, very good programs. They all play for their programs. Now, often we see players here and they talk about, he's in a good school but play 0 games or play 2 games. No, these guys are playing, you know. They're playing for their colleges and playing at good level. So that's what makes this division very, very competitive.
That's a good point. So often we talk about the colleges that these players go to, and you know, you can be on the roster and perhaps have not broken through into what you would consider the first team per se of your collegiate program. But these leagues in the summer, whether it was in the MPSL in the last 2 years that Annapolis was a part of, or here in USL League 2, this can also be a way to gain some momentum, to gain some rhythm as a player, to gain some confidence going into your college season in the fall.
You'd be hungry, no? Yeah. I would be hungry, like not playing from a college, not have opportunity to play.
Yeah.
So be hungry. So I think also we see this in this league. No? The players that are committed to play here, the players that are very, very committed to soccer. No? You could be doing anything, and over the summer you're practicing, playing. At sometimes last week was 115 degrees, and you see Matt Helfrich playing 90 minutes of the same pace. So it's something to think about. Now, these players are very committed to their soccer career.
You know, a good example of that as well is Matias de Jesus, who at the University of Maryland wasn't getting a ton of playing time in College Park, but the last 2 summers has had really successful outings with Annapolis, particularly last summer, that got him a bigger role in the Maryland team last fall. And he'll be going into his senior season coming up in a few months. But now Guijo into the box, and they're going to call for the foul. Brady Guijo whistled for the infraction. The goal will not count. We'll take another look at what brought on that whistle. I don't think Guijo can have too many complaints about that one.
Not sure. He's strong, but not that strong. Huh?
The arm up around the face is often tough. Well, how much of that is perhaps a little bit of frustration from Guijo as well? He hasn't been super involved in the first 24 minutes of this game. You know, the opening goal, he was not really a part of just yet. He's a guy that relies on service a lot, and he hasn't had much of that. Sometimes those kinds of fouls or moments can be out of frustration, no?
Yeah, and, you know, even more a player like, he's a fighter, no? He has an edge. He likes that contact. I think it also gets him going, you know, that fight. I like that. I like that, the kind of player that is not happy that he's not having the ball. No? So as long as it's nothing out of character, you know, like those moments are okay.
That was a great bit of skill by Rich Moneth that wasn't quite able to squeak through, but now Charlottesville coming the other way again. The ball over top. And McKirschner. Now Helfrich. Much is said about Matty Helfrich and his industrious nature as a player. And we are going to have our first hydration break here. But Matty Helfrich, he also has a good bit of skill as well. He's fast, he's quick, he's physical. But he's one of those players that can do it all. Emma Kirshner as well, who got that opening goal for Annapolis that feels like ages ago at this point.
Yeah, this game is going fast and, you know, very entertaining, which what we were expecting. You know, going back to Helfrich, we had the World Cup of clubs in US, and a lot of those players, you know, complaining about it. I don't see him complaining.
Very good point.
I don't see him
That's a very good point.
I see just running as much as he can. You know, Max Vieira doing the same when he was playing here, and you see Kirshner like defending behind Helfrich. Again, those players have a willing to win and to run. You know, just expecting a reaction after this water break.
We see Colin Harriott there in the middle of this huddle with the tactics board. Head coach for Annapolis, now in his 3rd season, and has always been super honest and open whenever we've talked to him. Obviously a little different for you the past 2 years as you've been on the team, but with me as the broadcaster. And I asked him today, you know, the year obviously didn't go quite as you would have liked, but what do you make of it? And the first thing he said, and he meant this genuinely, was that of the three, this has been his favorite season thus far. And that is something that I think is very telling for a coach that has lifted trophies, who has won some big moments, won some big games. But he talked about how much he's learned about himself as a coach, his approach to bringing on these players and bringing them in. And he's learned a lot about his team and the character. And I think that's very, it's not just a quote to say, but he truly means that he's, despite the record, really enjoyed the season.
Yeah. Every moment of chaos or moment of difficulty is also a moment of opportunity. If you see this as an opportunity, like you said, to challenge yourself, to learn more. Because very often when you win, all the mistakes get under the rug. You sweep these mistakes under the rug. The mistakes nobody talk about. And when you lose, small mistakes become bigger. How can you balance that and learn from those mistakes? I think we were challenged this year, and like you say, he's learning, he's seeing as an opportunity to get better and improve himself and the team. A
really brilliant tactical mind as well. He's a guy that studies the game and has so many different influences. He spent time in Brazil last year. He's already planned the next couple trips that he's very excited for. We had the pleasure of being spoken to by Fluminense, the Brazilian, one of the most prominent historic clubs in the country, came and talked to local youth coaches through Colin Harriott before going on and playing in the Club World Cup. And he's a guy that is very honest, is very introspective as well with his coaching.
Yeah, and in all my career, since I started when I was 6 and stopped playing, retired this year, playing indoor this year, I had over 45 coaches. The other day I tried to think about. Of course, some of them I don't remember the name. I remember the face.
Right.
But like 45 plus coaches. And I don't say this because, we work together or anything like that. But he is by far the coach that I learned the most of these 45 coaches. And I'm not just talking about Brazilian coaches. No, I played in Poland, I played in Romania, I played indoor soccer. So he gives so much to the player. I learned so much in the last 3-4 years working directly with him. And I know he is now going to look back to this season and reflect and, like you say, get better. That's the challenge and the way he's approaching.
Saw Oliver Snowden for Annapolis picked up the yellow card. I think that's fascinating that he was probably, as you're saying, one of your last coaches that you had in your playing career. And what were some of the things that you felt you learned from him? Because you could say that, what do you have left to learn after this great career that you've had? But what was he kind of able to convey to you?
I think it's very, very big, the aspects that he talked to me or taught me all these years. I think first of all was tactically, like how I feel that I was blindfolded before about it, and the tactical aspect of the game and the small details of body shape, like when to pass the ball, the pace of the game, how can you change the game just by changing the tempo of the game, and also how you present yourself as a coach, your behavior on the sidelines, or like coaching training sessions. Now, like we only see the final product,
right,
which is the game here, but everybody has an idea. My team, I want to play like Pep Guardiola. I want to play like Jose Mourinho, whatever. I'll play this style, that style. But how can you put this in ideas to come up with practices to make sure that your team is understanding that and playing that way? Oh, it's fascinating. and I learned all of it, like almost all of it, with him. Before it was more about what can I, like as a player, what can I do with the ball here? Well, like my individual skills.
Right.
And with him, like he gives answers and asks questions.
A bigger picture.
Yeah. It's way more than just one thing here and there. So yeah, for me, the game of soccer became like a chess game. You know, I move a piece, you move a piece, and how can I dominate you by moving my pieces in a better way?
Well, that's why he has that giant board over there. It's not a chess board, it's a tactics board. But kind of treated in the same way. You saw Brady Guijo go down to the box a moment ago, but no whistle called. Now Charlottesville looking to come the other way. A threaded through pass to the far side, trying to cut in on the left foot. Takes the shot, blocked by Webb Johnson. The follow-up, Allegro's there. It was Jaden Shea Bailey who created that opportunity. Allegro, an important stop.
And once more, they finished the first time, we blocked it, and they got lucky and have the second opportunity. This time, Owen was in the right place and was able to make the save.
It was Ian Webb Johnson on the initial block. Is one of those American University players that we've talked about. He's already been named captain for the upcoming season. Also here in midfield, and it'll be in Annapolis' favor. So we've talked a lot about the kind of Annapolis big picture the last couple minutes, but this game has gone on. We're now over half an hour into it. How do you kind of assess how we've gone from that very frantic opening to how these teams are starting to kind of play that chess match as you were alluding to?
I think the game is settled now. We had that madness beginning with a lot of back and forth, and where the Charlottesville was able to capitalize their chances more than we did. I think now it's a time where the energy level dropped a little bit more. Now you're not able to high press with the same intensity you did in the first 30 minutes, first 20 minutes. It's a time like to, move the pieces in a smart way.
Annapolis trying to move the pieces into the back of the net, and a penalty coming up. Annapolis had a shot a few minutes ago. This one pretty clear cut, and it all started with the opening goal scorer, Emmett Kirshner.
Great way to save the ball from going out of bounds, and more importantly, Kobe Kiyomeni, the natural left back, making a run as a striker in the box, and the contact came from behind. Clear PK for the Annapolis Blues.
It will be Brady Guijo who steps up to take it. Tyler Beck in goal for the Charlottesville Blues. Brady Guijo has 8 goals on the season so far. 3 goals in his last 3. And now steps up to the spot with a chance to make it level. Cool, calm, collected. Brady Guijo, the season leading scorer, the club's leading scorer, has brought it level in the final game of the regular season. Annapolis 2, Charlottesville 2.
I mean, if you have Helfrich as a favorite player this season, I'll have to make a case for Brady Guijo. He's been great. He didn't have a chance to start the first games. Every time he came off of the bench, he impacted the game right away. We noticed that for several games, and not just impacting the game to turning the momentum, but like doing what strikers need to do, scoring goals. So Brady Guijo, fantastic season for the Blues.
The diplomatic broadcaster in me has to say that we don't pick favorites, but we have certain players that have impressed despite, having some, but.
Can we choose 36 favorites?
Yes. It's like picking your children. So just as we were saying how the game has settled down, it very quickly sped back up with that penalty kick about 10 minutes before the halftime interval. Brady Guijo, who is so exciting to watch. We talked about the skill and his attributes as a forward, but he plays with such energy as well. You saw him up one of those steps and right over the Bay Boys to celebrate. Annapolis looking to kick things into gear again.
And also Kashner scored a goal and then fought to keep the ball on the line and put in the box for Kobe Kiyomeni.
Only his 3rd start of the season, Emmett Kirshner. First-year player out of Baltimore. He's one of those University of Delaware Blue Hens. Collegiate teammates with Rich Moneth. Those are 2 guys. We talk about how several players have had to go back to their college teams already, but the games are still going on. Delaware is one of the later teams to finish up their spring season, so Rich Moneth and Emma Kirshner weren't fully available for the games in the end of May, but have really both made an impact down the stretch. There's Charlottesville now down the near side. Evan Fiddler. Now Dugald picks it up. The second goal scorer for Charlottesville that was placed over the top, inch perfect, put them in the driver's seat.
Now that we talked about before, now those are the next 5 minutes are very important to settle that next possession to be a good long possession, so we don't get on that back and forth that we saw after the first goal.
Sliding intervention put in by Oliver Snowden, who's kind of been the base of that midfield in this game. Here's Yoder. Longwood University defender, 6'3" from Charlottesville proper. Let's see, Charlottesville now just trying to slow the game down a bit. Both teams would love to take the lead going into halftime, but neither want to cough it up. There's Nana Sinkum. Lob ball over to the far side. Dan Klink was back doing the defending. And it's out for a Charlottesville corner kick. These set pieces have been put into a dangerous area. They've had several corner kicks now, the visiting Blues. They've all been taken by Samuel Vigilante, who also is from Charlottesville. Big smile on his face as he lines up this corner kick. Sent in towards the center. Ian Webb Johnson gets a strong head to it. This one will be knocked clear up towards the midfield line. It'll be an Annapolis thrown as they advance up the pitch. Again, this ball put in to quite the dangerous spot. How impressed with Ian Webb Johnson have you been this season? He's been one of the mainstays at the back, playing as a lone center back sometimes. What have you kind of made of his game?
Honestly, very impressed. No, it's not easy to come here and defend by yourself, like I said, a lot of games, and you know how center backs are important on our system, and he feels very comfortable. He's very physical, which allows him to be at times that solo center back. I don't imagine me doing that. Yeah, he's being very good. A leader, you see, he's very good in the air, always in a good position to block shots as well. So it's a good surprise. I honestly didn't know of him before the season, but I watched the scrimmage on pre-season, and he did really well, and you know, very good important game, player for American. Not surprised he's one of the captains for next season.
Some great skill here in midfield for Charlottesville as they look to take the lead going into the locker room. There's Sam Roberson, who got the opening goal. He's off to Dugald, who 112 seconds later got the second for the visitors, and a foul here called against Annapolis. Matty Helfrich the culprit. So a different kind of set piece coming up for Charlottesville. Just a bit late on that one against Vigilante. Will be Evan Fiddler to stand over this one, the left-footed taker. Two-man wall for Annapolis set by Owen Allegro in goal. Blues holding their line around the penalty spot. Fiddler will look to curl this in towards the back post. Does just that. Get too much on it. Still alive for Charlottesville. Out to Shea Bailey. And last off of Jaden Shea Bailey and out for an Annapolis throw-in. Taken by Taku Takahashi. Player that seems to kind of pop up all over the place. Is so versatile, is so skilled. You could put him anywhere on the field and he would have success. He clears this one up, releasing the pressure valve on Annapolis' defense. Long ball over the top, a direct approach from Charlottesville, and Ian Webb-Johnson took a knock to the head. Once the whistle, will not get it. It goes out for a throw on the near side. And he's up with palms in protest. He is a big guy, so to climb that ladder and contest the header is not an easy task. Throw in taken by Helfrich. Luke Madden, a long lofted ball to the far side, run down by Takahashi, and Jaden Shea Bailey was not able to catch up to that one. Stick with us at halftime here on NBC Sports Engine, where we will hear from two of the big men on campus, Assistant General Manager Stephen Hooper and General Manager Fred Mathis. Two guys that have been with the club since year one. Both of them so instrumental in everything that goes on and all the success that's been had. And we owe both of them a lot of thanks over the years. Both giving a lot of credit to everybody that makes this Annapolis club tick. Fred mentions many of them by name. There's a lot of interns behind the scenes as well that are tasked with many different responsibilities on game day, and really invaluable members as this ball over the top. Kiomani trying to get on the end of it, and he clatters into Tyler Beck. Referee saying the ball was won. Kiomani slow to his feet after the fact. Charlottesville not slowing down. I'm going to take another look at that one before we get you into the halftime locker room. That is a really tough one to read for goalkeepers. Kiomani, who's on paper the left back. His flag is up on the far side for offside. Another look here at this ball is Rafa Machado, who played it over the top. Kiomani coming out, it just kind of had some backspin on it. Tyler Beck did get the ball. I don't know how much he knew about it.
Yeah, like we comment about the goal. You're expecting the ball and you don't see the goalkeeper coming. But very good run from Kobe again. Like
he is still down.
Yeah. And the goalkeeper, you know, he sees everything, so has an advantage on that play.
And has every right to come for that ball.
Yeah, I think it was just like unfortunate like collision. It's hard. The goalkeepers always come strong out of the box, and like I said, he is like expecting the bounce, looking at the goalkeeper. Just unlucky moment.
We will have 5 minutes of added time on a game that got started within 5 minutes. Emmett Kirshner, the opener, about 2 minutes in for the Annapolis Blues. Charlottesville quickly responded with a goal through Sam Roberson, and then 112 seconds later was Graham Dugald who chipped it over top of Owen Allegro to put Charlottesville all of a sudden in the driver's seat. Took a little while, but Annapolis drew level on a penalty through Brady Guijo, who has 9 goals on the season so far. We did confirm with the Annapolis bigwigs that Brady Guijo is the club's all-time leading goal scorer. We haven't been able to track down quite what that number is, but we do know that it is him who has scored more goals than anybody else in club history, and it's really saying something with the first season that Jacob Merle had, now playing with DC United. DC United will be in action on the West Coast tonight, playing the LA Galaxy for a 10:30 kickoff. I was talking to Dave Johnson yesterday, of course, the voice of DC United and part of the ownership group here for the Blues. And he was still coming to this game. He was showing up. He was bummed he wouldn't be able to make the end of it. So he has other matters to attend to. We'll be calling that game on iHeartRadio with our good friend Bruce Murray. Friend of the Blues, of course.
You know, when you go to, respectfully put that way, like down the levels of soccer, you see the most pure love of soccer and the most pure form of soccer, no?
Annapolis trying to find a pretty pure form of it there.
Yeah, this is the soccer, like in its pure form. There is nobody here is playing for money. Nobody is trying. It's just playing because they love the game and they want more. So when you go professionally, there are so many things that play a part. But here, that's why it's exciting.
Here's Brady Guijo. Has Rich Moneth with him, lays it off. And a late whistle. Guijo taken down. It will be a free kick. You would expect a yellow card as well. We'll see what the referee elects to do. Doesn't look like a card out of his pocket just yet. May remain that way. But another good attacking passage for Annapolis. It's kind of a combination there of Jaden Shea Bailey and Luke Madden. No yellow card issued on the play. As we have played 3 of the 5 minutes of added time. Annapolis, a great opportunity to score right before the halftime break. The Blues have been successful on set pieces in their history, including some scored by the man to my right.
The important part now is one, hit the target, no? A lot of times, as a free kick takers, we want to put the ball on the upper 90 or anything like that. Just hit target with pace.
4 in the wall for Charlottesville. Rafa Machado stands over it. Rafa Machado clips the wall. It does its job and ricochets out to the near side. Be a throw-in for the Blues right by the corner flag. Helfrich will retrieve it from behind the advertising boards. Sent into the box. Flicked on, and that will be pretty comfortable for Tyler Beck, who hasn't had to do all that much in this game. Did have to come out and intervene with Kobe Kiumani a moment ago, who is back out on the field, but now a big burst of pace down the right for Charlottesville. Could they turn the tides right before the whistle?
So a little bit like Owen Allegro, no? Like the first goal, he tried to, maybe he could stay on the goal, but like, how do you know, no?
Right.
And then a PK. So what can you do about it? So, the goals are being very clean and well executed.
It's been a great first half of football here on the final day of the regular season. We've been treated to goals. Could there be more on? Annapolis wins that one cleaning through Helfrich. Ian Webb Johnson puts the laces through that one. Maybe you might want to look at him for their kickoffs coming up this fall. Not much time left in the first half. Both teams will have much to discuss in the locker room. A little bit more time added on as Kobe Kiumani was attended to within those 5 minutes. We've had the other free kicks. We'll have enough time to get this ball restarted.
You see Kobe Kiumani more as a centrally now. Not sure if he's not sustaining an injury and wants just to go finish this 5 minutes and see how it goes in the second half, but I feel that that's the idea.
And there is the halftime whistle. We have been treated to quite the spectacle so far on the final game of the regular season for both of these teams. It has been quite the start. We've been treated to goals here as we head to halftime. Both teams got off to a flying start. Annapolis in the opening 2 minutes. Charlottesville fired back with 2. Kehoe brought them level from the spot. It is 2-2 here at halftime.
The 2025 Annapolis Blues season is presented by Saunders Wealth Management, a private wealth advisory practice of Ameriprise Financial Services. Watermark Cruises, immersing you in the history, culture, and fun of the Chesapeake area. The Westin Annapolis, unique charm and convenient amenities like free Wi-Fi, heavenly beds, and a pet-free attitude with its downtown location. YTech, seeking top computer engineering and cybersecurity professionals. Join us today at ytech.com/careers. Luminous Health, from Anne Arundel Medical Center to Doctors Community Medical Center and more than 100 primary and specialty care locations. We bring personalized care to your neighborhood. Hague Quality Water of Maryland, your home team water treatment company. And Annapolis Painting Services, your home improvement MVP since 1985.
Hey Blues fans, I'm Dr. Olivia Dreisky. Are you ready to watch the Blues win without your contacts or glasses? Chesapeake Eye Care and Laser Center is here to help you score better vision with our comprehensive refractive surgical offerings, including LASIK, SMILE, and PRK. Call 1-877-DOCTOR for 2020 to schedule your free consultation and mention the phrase Sight for Soccer to get $500 off your procedure. Let's go, Blues!
The 2025 Annapolis Blues season is presented by In-Home Stone, specializing in counters, tile, and stone restoration with expert craftsmanship and quality service. Indian Creek School, the premier Annapolis area independent school, where kindness is currency, well-being is priority, and excellence is relentlessly pursued. Liquefied, your go-to for cutting-edge creative, marketing, PR, and web solutions. Pup Scouts, give your pup the all-star treatment with Maryland Pup Scouts. Visit mdpupscouts.com today. Picante Mexican Cocina, your local spot for Taco Tuesdays. Friendly happy hours and the most authentic Mexican cuisine in Annapolis. Rehab to Perform, empowering you to move better and live strong. Recover like the pros. Rosso Commercial Real Estate, businesses rely on Rosso to help secure great spaces. There's no better team in the commercial real estate business. And the Annapolis Mall. Come check out our newest attractions. Pollo Campanero, Be With Me Playseum, Pop Mart Robo Shop, and coming soon, Dick's House of Sport and Dave & Buster's.
The Annapolis Blues are making waves. Luminous Health is proud to be the official healthcare partner of the Blues this season. Together, we're teaming up to champion a healthier, stronger community. From injury prevention to recovery, our orthopedic specialists keep local athletes in the game. 2 local organizations, 1 winning team.
Back here at halftime, Brendan Hartlove now joined by Annapolis Blues Assistant GM and Director of Marketing, kind of wearing a lot of hats, Stephen Hooper, one of a few repeat customers we've had on the interviews here now in year 3. And you've been with the club all 3 years now. How have you kind of seen things progress from that first season to where we are now?
Yeah, always a pleasure to be back here talking with you guys and talking with the fans about the Blues. Yeah, like you said, 3 years coming now. Year 1 to year 3 has been incredible growth. You look at year 1, we had 7,500 fans as our record number, all the way up to 12,000, close to 13,000 fans. So that's just been incredible to see the growth and the community jump behind the Annapolis Blues as a whole and want to come to games. We're starting to see now that the marketing, obviously we still have to do our efforts on our own end to get people to come and put butts in seats. But the beautiful thing now is it seems like people are starting to market on their own. They're doing their own activations, their own selling, which has been great behind our rally campaign. So you'll see other people's social medias. You'll hear people around town talking like, "Oh yeah, you got to come to the Blues game. It's so fun." And just being part of it from year 1 it's so rewarding. and beautiful to hear that, you're at Bread and Butter eating lunch and they don't know that you work for the Blues, but you hear them talking about the Blues, telling it to their fans telling their friends to come to the game is just awesome. So
I was speaking to a sports journalism camp actually yesterday, and one of the kids in the audience had an Annapolis Blues jersey on, and not knowing that I was it was just a very cool moment to see how things have grown. Now that we are here in year 3, and not to look too far ahead, we still got one game left to play, but what has kind of been special? What has stood out about this year?
Yeah, I think the big special thing is the women's. I think it was super cool to bring that into the community and let the women have a chance to play for Annapolis as well, not just the men. And also seeing the support from the fans sticking around for the entirety of a doubleheader game. We're all working doubleheaders. Everyone's here much longer than we used to be, including the fans. So, it was just a men's game last year and the year before. This year, whether the women play first or the men play first, most fans are sticking around for both games. They'll come for the first game, stick around for the second, or vice versa. And it's just really cool to see. It's a long day to ask fans to stay for, but the passion and the support by the fans is incredible. And it's just beautiful to see them want to be there the entirety of the game.
Awesome, Stephen. Well, thank you for everything you do for the club, and we'll catch you in year 4 next year.
Sure, I'll be back.
Stay with us for more here at halftime.
The 2025 Annapolis Blues are presented by Adaptic Engineering, software, systems, and cybersecurity solutions in support of the intelligence community. Annapolis Moms Media, the ultimate destination for moms and dads. Join the community today. BFPE International, providing all types of fire protection systems since 1970. Chesapeake Eye Care, the choice is clear. Annapolis' premier eye care practice for all your vision needs. Humdinger, trusted by leading brands to create unforgettable experiences. Learn more at humdingerproductions.com. Forward Brewing, find us in Eastport for craft beer, delicious food, and Annapolis' best outdoor dining. And Home Genius Exteriors, the top choice for roofing and siding in your neighborhood.
Hey Blues fans, I'm Dr. Olivia Dreisky. Are you ready to watch the Blues win without your contacts or glasses? Chesapeake Eye Care and Laser Center is here to help you score better vision with our comprehensive refractive surgical offerings, including LASIK, SMILE, and PRK. Call 1-877-DOCTOR for 2020 to schedule your free consultation and mention the phrase "Sight for Soccer" to get $500 off your procedure. Let's go, Blues!
The 2025 Annapolis Blues season is presented by In-Home Stone, specializing in counters, tile, and stone restoration with expert craftsmanship and quality service. Indian Creek School, the premier Annapolis area independent school, where kindness is currency, well-being is priority, and excellence is relentlessly pursued. Liquefied, your go-to for cutting-edge creative, marketing, PR, and web solutions. Pup Scouts, give your pup the all-star treatment with Maryland Pup Scouts. Visit mdpupscouts.com today. Picante Mexican Cocina, your local spot for Taco Tuesdays. Friendly happy hours and the most authentic Mexican cuisine in Annapolis. Rehab to Perform, empowering you to move better and live strong. Recover like the pros. Rosso Commercial Real Estate, businesses rely on Rosso to help secure great spaces. There's no better team in the commercial real estate business. And the Annapolis Mall. Come check out our newest attractions. Pollo Campanero, Be With Me Playseum, Pop Mart Robo Shop, and coming soon, Dick's House of Sport and Dave & Buster's.
The Annapolis Blues are making waves. Luminous Health is proud to be the official healthcare partner of the Blues this season. Together, we're teaming up to champion a healthier, stronger community. From injury prevention to recovery, our orthopedic specialists keep local athletes in the game. 2 local organizations, 1 winning team.
Back here at halftime on NBC Sports Engine, Brendan Hartlove now joined by the general manager of the men's team for Annapolis, Fred Mathis. Fred, always great to have you. I think you maybe max out the appearances we've had for people on these interviews. And now in year 3, I guess going back to that year 1, why did you guys do this? Why Annapolis?
Yeah, it's been quite a ride for sure. I have to go all the way back to when Michael Hitchcock and I first talked to each other on the phone sometime in the summer of 2022, and he said, I've got this concept going. It's kind of in your area over in Annapolis, Maryland. What do you think of that? And I said, let me keep an eye on what you're doing. And so I started to see some of the things that Hitch was doing to kind of get the branding out there and get things going. I said, this looks like it could be pretty good. So called him back. We started talking. I was really kind of looking at maybe a consultancy with him to get things started up. I said, I'll do it for a year or so. Here we are 3.5 years later. I'm the general manager. He talked me into it. It's been a good run, and I have to say that nobody really expected what this was going to do in that first year. We would have been happy probably with a few thousand in the stands, and that would have made some marks in that. But after that first season, we saw that, hey, there's some records out there we might be able to attain in that first year, just because we had such a good season ticket run right away. We jumped out at that first year. The history. We set the record in the very first game, and then it was from there. It was up, all the way up after that. And
it hasn't just been you, and you've added some new faces this season as well. I guess tell us about that group that's making all this happen.
Absolutely. I mean, and you've interviewed most of them throughout the course of this season. I purposely did that. I wanted to get them over here to get their feet wet, as it were, in the media world a little bit. But Stephen Hooper, that you've talked with already today, my assistant general manager, started as our sales and marketing manager, really has done a yeoman's job at pulling this all together. He's from Annapolis. He's over here, put the staff together really, in his image and what he wanted to do over this way in Annapolis, and I've let him run with it. Let him scrape his elbows, scrape his knees a few times, but he's come out, very much, in way as a full manager of this club. Devin Pugh joined us a couple seasons back in the community outreach area, which is opportunity and community, our two main legs of the whole club. He's been part of all that. We've added some interns that have worked their way up. Kyle Cullen, Brooke Lewis helping us with the women's team, the new women's team now. Then some newcomers in Caitlin McComb and Luke Mueller, who've helped in ticketing and sponsorship partnerships. All those folks have really come aboard and been a part of this club, and people have gotten to see them now.
Fred, thank you for everything you do for the club. More for Annapolis to come in the future, and more coming up in the second half here on NBC Sports Engine.
The 2025 Annapolis Blues season is presented by Saunders Wealth Management, a private wealth advisory practice of Ameriprise Financial Services. Watermark Cruises, immersing you in the history, culture, and fun of the Chesapeake area. The Westin Annapolis, unique charm and convenient amenities like free Wi-Fi, heavenly beds, and a pet-free attitude with its downtown location. YTech, seeking top computer engineering and cybersecurity professionals. Join us today at ytech.com/careers. Luminous Health, from Anne Arundel Medical Center to Doctors Community Medical Center and more than 100 primary and specialty care locations. We bring personalized care to your neighborhood. Hague Quality Water of Maryland, your home team water treatment company. And Annapolis Painting Services, your home improvement MVP since 1985. The 2025 Annapolis Blues are presented by Adaptic Engineering, software, systems, and cybersecurity solutions in support of the intelligence community. Annapolis Moms Media, the ultimate destination for moms and dads. Join the community today. BFPE International, providing all types of fire protection systems since 1970. Chesapeake Eye Care, the choice is clear. Annapolis' premier eye care practice for all your vision needs. Humdinger, trusted by leading brands to create unforgettable experiences. Learn more at humdingerproductions.com. Forward Brewing, find us in Eastport for craft beer, delicious food, and Annapolis' best outdoor dining. And Home Genius Exteriors, the top choice for roofing and siding in your neighborhood.
The Annapolis Blues are making waves. Luminous Health is proud to be the official healthcare partner of the Blues this season. Together, we're teaming up to champion a healthier, stronger community. From injury prevention to recovery, our orthopedic specialists keep local athletes in the game. 2 local organizations, 1 winning team.
Back here on NBC Sports Engine following an enthralling first 45 minutes of action between Annapolis and Charlottesville. And Elton, we got out to a flying start with Emmett Kirshner.
Yeah, very good play coming, Taku, Helfrich, and then great finishing from Kirshner.
It was within the first 2 minutes, but only a few minutes later, Charlottesville Blues responded through Sam Roberson. And then quickly after that, they would tackle in a second. Only 112 seconds later did Graham Dugald chip it over top. Ian Webb Johnson putting his body on the line.
Yeah, they had a really good reaction after the goal and dominated the actions and, got really 2 quickly goals.
And then it was Brady Guijo's penalty kick that brought things level before the break. We'll get you the halftime stats here, which are presented by Watermark Cruises, immersing you in the history, culture, and fun of the Chesapeake area. Look for the red umbrella at Annapolis City Dock or visit watermarkjourney.com to learn more. As we would expect in a 2-2 draw here at halftime, pretty even across the board. Annapolis has been called for more fouls. Charlottesville has had 5 corners. We've seen them take advantage of the set pieces. It's all been good deliveries. What do you kind of make of those first half stats?
Very balanced game, a very good fight. And the game, the stats, and the standings show that the 2 teams are very close to each other in the league. Possession, it always depends, like the quality of the possession. I feel that they did have more shots, but the funniest part was the 4 goals were like they're very, very good goals.
Yeah.
Nothing that the goalkeeper could do. I think Owen had a really good save on a second shot, but Charlottesville goalkeeper didn't have that much to do.
So you can see there a sub in net for Charlottesville. JP Martin coming into the game. We'll get you our keys to the second half, presented by Rosso Commercial Real Estate. Businesses rely on Rosso to help secure great spaces. There's no better team in the commercial real estate business. We said play leapfrog. They haven't quite done that with the 1 point they would be at right now in this game, but they have kept that good form up pretty well.
Yeah, they're used to it. I think they just had an unlucky beginning of the season. After that, they were able to keep every game close and have like a very good sequence of good results.
Underway for the final 45 minutes of the 2025 season. What an end it has been. 4 goals in the first half of this one. 2 teams that haven't played each other since the opening day of the season. It was a 2-1 victory for Annapolis down in Charlottesville. Now Annapolis looking to cash in behind again, trying to pick up where they left off in the first half. Here's Rich Moneth. Flipped into the box, but offside. The flag very quickly raised on the far side. So we'll get you the Annapolis keys, again presented by Rosso Commercial Real Estate. And we said finish strong and put on a show. Well, put on a show they have in that first half.
Very exciting game, no? Oh, we are having a good game. Just need to prevent some of the Charlottesville's actions forward, but we're playing well. We're in a good, putting in a good show here today.
Now quickly coming down the other way, a good touch inside by Roberson, who scored the first goal for Charlottesville. Laid off, now to the near side for Shea Bailey. Long switch of play, kept alive by the visitors.
I think a small adjustment for the second half. You can see Colby Chiomeni playing more centrally, the same way he finished the first half. Could be something to keep an eye for the second half.
Back to Owen Allegro. So as we come out of this break, what do both of these teams have to do in the last 45 minutes to come out on top and finish 2025 incredibly strong?
Score more goals than the opposition.
Astute analysis, Elton. Well said.
The
Well, Annapolis trying to do that with Q-Mania again, who's really been bursting forward from the back. Again, the new goalkeeper, J.P. Martin, making his first appearance of the season. Alert to the danger.
Yeah, control the game. I think that's being what we see in the first half. The team that controls the game more often create more chances. I think that's almost like generic thing you can say for every game, but that's something that has happened here. We control the first minutes on the game. We scored a goal. Then Charlottesville start dictating the game and quickly score 2 goals. And you see the tides of the game. The game going like back and forth. Here we go, Brendan.
Now Annapolis trying to capitalize down the right-hand side. Kirshner. Fizzed through. Cleared by Charlottesville, but not convincingly. Back into the mixer. Luke Madden, much more emphatic that time around. Good touch inside by Dan Klink, who we didn't say his name all that much in the first half, Dan Klink. We talked a lot about him when he got the start up top in the last home game, and he ended up scoring in that game, but hasn't been as involved in this one thus far.
Yeah, he's playing as a left in the second half now as a left wing back. You know, every game has its story. It's a hard position, as we talk about, like Keshner, Max Vieira, these guys playing on those positions.
Rolled into the box, brother to brother for Shea Bailey, squared across the middle, nobody home. As Jaden and Jay almost combined. Going to continue that forward. Good save by Allegro to parry that away. It was sent with considerable amount of venom through the box.
But going back to Dan Klink, he's doing a good defensive job. Sometimes goes unseen. He's helping Taku defensively. But you see, like we were playing, dominating the first 3-4 minutes, and then Charlottesville with one good action has an opportunity. It's a pretty open game.
And again, Allegro, a crucial intervention. Madden sprays this ball out to the far side. Helfrich there to defend. Last off Charlottesville and out of play. Talked about Allegro in the goal for Annapolis, and we mentioned J.P. Martin into the game for Charlottesville between the pipes. His first appearance of 2025. Tyler Beck did a great job in the first half. Elton, as we've said a couple times now, neither goalkeeper really at fault for any of the 4 goals we had in the opening 45. As you said, that hey, you know, they're pretty good goals, pretty quality finishes.
And as a goalkeeper, you need to be ready all the time. You may have a quiet game, and then suddenly you have to make a big time save, or need to come out of the goal. So goalkeeper's life not easy. Need to be on your toes.
And that was very evident with the women's team. Caroline Duffy, who was kind of a spectator for Annapolis for most of the start of the season, didn't have a ton to do. In that tournament, both of those tournament games, was on fire with those saves. And sometimes it's just those nights when you're called into action.
Oh yeah, she was unbelievable.
Allegro's called into action here on this corner kick towards the center, flicked onto the back post and over. And it was last off Annapolis, a corner from the near side this time.
Ian Webb Johnson always in a good position to read those balls in the air. No? It's a difficult quality to also be good in the air.
A beacon in the center for Annapolis. The ball always seems to find his head. Sent in, headed away at the near post. This time, it was not Ian Webb Johnson that was able to get to it. It was Brady Kehoe that time. The 2 big men for the Blues. And now Annapolis trying to spring the trap the other way. Here comes the cavalry. Slid through, but waited too long, and the flag is up.
Yeah, I think that Dan Klink took one touch too long. And missed the window to get Colby on side.
Certainly the right call by the officials. They've done a pretty good job tonight, it must be said. We very much take the stance here that referees often only get talked about when they're having a poor performance, but referees are people too, contrary to how some players may behave out there on the field.
I think also a positive season for the referees that we've seen here in Navy Stadium.
Oh, a great ball in behind Ian Webb. Johnson read it very well to cut it out. Charlottesville took that throw, and I think not knowing that Joshua Yoder was trying to tie his shoe. Here's Luke Madden from Manhattan Beach, California. And Machado goes back to Allegro. Machado put under pressure, able to squeak that pass away. Driven ball into midfield. Kobe Kiumeni tries to take it down. Oh, we often see Kobe Kiumeni kind of as that left back or something. He's played a very different role tonight.
Yeah, he's one of those players that can play a lot of different positions. Now he plays left back mainly, but we saw him as a left center back too.
Dugald who rolls the pass out to the left, and Roberson appeared to dummy it, what seemed like almost intentionally. Goes out of play. Matty Helfrich will have the throw in.
Going back to Kobe now, today having a different role in this a little bit at the end of the second half, the first half, and then now the second half.
Almost as a second forward.
Yeah, he is a very athletic player. He can hit the ball both feet. Made some good runs centrally, you know.
Well, that is something that can be tough for players that are so versatile, is that, well, what is your best position?
True.
Sometimes you can be a victim of that flexibility, whereas here in the summer, Colin Harriott sees it very much as an advantage. Same could be said for Taku Takahashi.
True, because sometimes you're playing so many positions that you don't become a specialist in one. You don't master one position.
Yep. Can't cement a spot in the 11. Yeho trying to shrug off a challenge. Keeps it alive. Well defended. It'll be a Charlottesville throw-in. Annapolis trying to pin Charlottesville in its own area. Helfrich wins the header. Knocks it down to Rich Moneth. Well defended in there by Marquez Nanasinkum. Here is Kobe Kiumeni. No foul called. But now there is a foul called.
Yeah, that's not a foul. He just guessed the right side and got before in the ball.
Perhaps we spoke a little too soon.
Yeah. But I would like to see a little bit more of Rich Moneth on the ball. He's a very good, very creative player now that has a good last pass, good finishing, has been a little bit quiet today. So would like to see him more on the ball to think the game and create those final third passes that they're important to create chances.
Just the one goal on the season for forward out of Middle River, Maryland. Now in his second year with the Blues and just on the ball there. As we mentioned, in collaboration with Emmett Kirshner, plays the University of Delaware. Takahashi, a good challenge, and he came off with a bit of a limp as well. It was Samuel Vigilante who was the victim of that tackle.
I accidentally stepped on him after the tackle. That was the issue.
And not 10 seconds later, Vigilante again was fouled. And now a set piece that he will look to swing in behind this Annapolis back line. As we tick closer towards the hour mark. Still 2-2 between Annapolis and Charlottesville. Allegro goes up and will claim that one comfortably. Just a bit too deep on that set piece. Cumania heavy touch in midfield. Vigilante has incredible control that's been on display numerous times tonight. Now Charlottesville operating from the left-hand side. Top of the box. Machado got the ball. Second attempt is pinged over to the near side. Jaden Shea Bailey skipping through. Annapolis wins it clearly in the eyes of the referee. And we play on. Jay Shea Bailey was protesting in his brother's defense. There's an Annapolis player that's cramping on the far side. And another one that's trying to help stretch out. It was Emmett Kirshner who was trying to play physio as Charlottesville continued on around. You'll see during the stoppage some of the Charlottesville players go and grab a drink as well. Couldn't quite make out who it was that went down with a cramp, but Ellen, has to be said, it is getting late in the season. It's a hot and humid night. A lot of miles on those legs throughout the course of this summer. There's still some shoving going on around this injury. As you can see there, that was the stretching happening on the far side. Is it Rafa Machado, perhaps?
Yeah.
Does appear to be, but now off the ball, there has been some words and friendly gestures exchanged.
In between the lines. Now with soccer, something that I wish you could like mic players. But every time I see,
I'd have to bleep a lot, but yes.
Yeah, every time I see like a mic session that Nick and picked what you can post and not.
Yeah.
Those are the parts of the game that are marvelous. The way now and then after the game, they all go maybe to the same school or friends, but it's good to see. I always like that.
The heat of battle.
Yeah, yeah. Brady's good at it. He's involved. I think Ian likes to. The two brothers from Charlottesville appear to love it.
Jaden and Jay. Rafa Machado able to jog off, and appears that he will be okay. It looks like he may be taken off. Indeed, he will be by Colin Harriott. As Luke Dunn comes into the game.
I mean, when you have a cramp, you cannot go back from that. No? That's something
Rafa seemed like he wanted to.
You need to.
There's still half an hour left in this game.
Yeah, yeah. It's something that he only will get worse now.
Well, and Colin Harriott before the game as well was kind of saying that there is a responsibility this coaching staff has all season, but especially now, right before some of these players are going back to their college programs. You don't want to send them back with, you know, tons of miles on their legs and cramps and injuries and knocks and things like that. So in a game that, as we have said, does not have bearing on the standings necessarily, you wouldn't be able to tell that from the way it's been played. Rafa, as much as he might like to, maybe doesn't need to see this game out.
Yeah, and like I said, he had a lot of minutes this season. And it's something that you start building relationship with these colleges now, so they can keep sending their best players to the Blues. So, like I said, responsibility to deliver the player back healthy. Now, of course, there are things and injuries that happen that are out of control, but control as much as you can what you can control, and giving the best experience for these players as well.
Foul around midfield. Brady Guijo will leave it for Luke Dunn, who got a goal the last time the Blues were playing at home in that 3-1 win over the Virginia Marauders back on the 6th of July. Elton, as I kind of look down at the schedule that I have printed out on my notes and things like that, I was like, man, that Virginia game was a long time ago. There was 2 games in between that. Well, Annapolis did play 2 back-to-back games midweek, so it was only last weekend.
Yeah, that was
game and a half, I suppose.
Yeah, but still, no. Tough to play 4 games in a week.
Yeah. Physically, but also mentally. You prepare yourself for games. You try to get yourself in a headspace, and to do that so many times in the span of 7 days cannot be easy.
And switch off and on. No? Like, let's say you just play on Wednesday. If you win or lose, doesn't matter. You need to lock in for the next game. You don't have time to celebrate or be sad. You just need to move on as quick as you can and study the next opponent and prepare for the next one.
So 2 substitutions for Charlottesville. Zachary Martins comes into the game, as does Lucas Stavio. And we saw Jean-Bor Paul depart, but now Charlottesville, a 2-on-1 coming the other way. Stavio just into the game is dispossessed by Matty Helfrich. It's Annapolis goal kick.
Great delay of play by Taku Takahashi. Forcing the forward to think and make a decision, and he was in between the pass and the run, and that allowed the defender, I think was Helfrich, to come back and recover and help. Very smart play.
Here's Dan Klink. Brady Guijo, like a bull in a china shop. It's a throw in for Charlottesville. Also appears it was Sam Roberson who departed for Charlottesville in that double change. Annapolis readying a sub themselves. Here's Dan Klink. Player that Colin Harriott rates very highly. Not yet in college, Dan Klink, but will be headed down to Chapel Hill, playing for the University of North Carolina. Coach Harriott saying he thinks Dan Klink could make a real impact for the Tar Heels as a freshman. Charlottesville trying to motor down the right-hand side. Ian Webb-Johnson, some excellent defending to not only break up that play, to win the throw-in. So Brady Guijo will depart, having brought Annapolis level with his 9th goal of the season. And Mikey Johnson will come in. A big hug from all the coaching staff for Brady Guijo, who's had such an incredible season, especially the back half down this stretch. 4 goals in his last 4 games for the big man up top out of Westminster. Well, not only is he progressing as a player, he's progressing in his college career as well.
Yeah, and like we're talking about, like playing this summer, that gives a lot of confidence to him to. No, he just transferred to UMBC to get there with confidence. He here scored 9 goals this season. That's a lot of goals.
Yeah.
That's a lot of goals, and that's what you want to see from your striker, no? So he goes to Coach Anthony Adams and Coach Bill Kerr with a lot of confidence to impact the season for UMBC.
This was only his 7th start of the summer, his 12th appearance overall. You've seen him provide from the get-go as well as off the bench. Looked into the middle. Threaded pass was Jay Bailey. Not able to properly weight that one, but the idea was certainly there. Charlottesville has been very impressive in this game. It's a team that, had they not had the tough run of fixtures to start the season, it would certainly be in the conversation about making the playoffs, and probably a team you wouldn't want to face.
Yeah, very good. Some very talented players. I'm enjoying watching the two brothers here on the right hand side of the field, playing well with, not without a fear. We saw a lot of teams coming to the Navy Stadium, and parking, staying behind, or the ones that try to play a lot, getting overplayed or overpowered, and they're just, keeping their system, like playing without fear and playing well as well.
You mentioned it at the start of the game from an Annapolis perspective, when they came out that really hot start, and you said they're kind of playing without pressure in a lot of ways, because this is the final game of the regular season. They're not fighting to get into the playoffs. They can kind of play without that. Do you think there's an element of that for Charlottesville as well?
Yeah, I think so. And I think maybe their good run comes from there. Because after losing a lot of games in the beginning, you say, you know what, we don't have a chance anymore. Let's just have fun and play. And then when you play out of pressure, you try more things, you get more confident, you don't have that afraid to make a mistake. And then they started a good run, a little bit late in the season. But, like I said, if they were on this run since the beginning, they would definitely be playing or being on the top spots on the standings.
Here's Rich Moneth. Ever the motor. Klink. Into the box. Dan Klink has his shot blocked. Clearance ricocheted. Right back to Dan Klink. Well, there's a Charlottesville player down. Fed through Mikey Johnson, trying to get around, spinning. And this one, the play has been whistled dead long ago at this point. Still some shoving going on.
Just don't understand the call.
Didn't appear to be offside. If it was, it perhaps came much earlier on. See if there's a foul called in here. Maybe the hand, the elbow of Mikey Johnson.
Honestly, their arms are tangled, but I don't see a pull or anything.
I could see from, if you're watching that at full speed, how it's Luke Madden who is the one that goes to ground, despite he's the one that initiated the contact. Mikey Johnson just won that battle. And you saw or heard some boos a moment ago. Unclear if that's in the, not the best spirit of the game for the injured player, or if it's because they just saw the replay up on the video board. Likely the latter.
Yeah, sometimes it doesn't need to be a foul, just need to appear as one.
Yeah.
And I think maybe that's what happened. Just from the referee's angle, it looked like Mikey Johnson was pulling the center back, but after seeing the replay, that was not the case, huh?
So we have now head to our hydration break. They announce over 9,100 here as the attendance for this season finale. A lot of Blues fans liking what they're seeing. They'll be able to continue that into the fall with all these players that will still be playing local. For Annapolis fans, you don't have to stop watching your favorite players here when the summer ends. This is an extensive list that you could do a whole tour of the DMV and catch your favorite Blues wherever they might be.
Yeah, I have friends that say, I think in the ratio of 150 miles, we have the best soccer in the country. I think if you put like a center of DC and then you go 100 miles any direction, you're going to find the best players in the country. And then, you know, if the fans are missing any of the players, you can see them playing with each other, against each other, you know, on TV. That's also a great thing about college soccer. You can catch up the games on TV as well. So a lot of good players in the area that they'll be easy to go watch.
Taku Takahashi, one of them. American University, we talked about him, Ian Webb Johnson, and Kobe Kiumeni. And these Blues fans are loud. We had the Icelandic clap going during that hydration stoppage. J.P. Martin will get us back underway. Add him to the end of that list as he's at GW.
Gonna play with Ben McGovern.
You mentioned it a moment ago, but some of these players go from playing against each other. They might be in training camp next week. Hey, buddy, you left your leg in there on that challenge. What was that about? Or bragging rights still on the line. Ian Webb Johnson clears that one. That's tougher than it looks. You have to get the angle of that foot just right. That could skew anywhere. Now back to Takahashi. Off the chest of Mikey Johnson. His 8th appearance off the bench for the Blues in his first season here in Naptown. Just had the 1 goal to his name on the campaign. All sent up in the direction of Johnson, standing at 6'2". There's Rich Mota, threaded pass, some contact, and Kobe Kiumeni is growing increasingly frustrated. There's another Charlottesville player down. Starting to drop like flies out there in the Annapolis air. The Annapolis team, in the spirit of the game, will play that out of bounds. Good sportsmanship on display. Again, couldn't quite make out who that is that's down there. Obviously, it's always tough when they're rolled over on their backs. Captain Graham Dugald.
Appears to be one of the brothers now, number 7 maybe?
Might be. It's always tough to tell. The training staff now out. So 2-2 between Annapolis and Charlottesville on this hot and humid night. Only a quarter of an hour left in this 2025 season. You know, we kind of jokingly talked about our players of the season and whatnot, but do you have a favorite moment that stood out to you as we look back on the games that we've done so far this season? I'm allowed to say tonight, too.
I think the home opener.
Yeah.
I think is always special. I remember our first year home opener here against Frederick. Special night. Second year, I think we played DMV Elite, maybe. Very special, too. I remember us celebrating our right-hand side with the kids on the grass. And this year, now the game against Christus, that rivalry that started even before games had played, and we coming on top, of course, but 11,000 people here. I think home opener is always a special moment in the season.
And so normally this is kind of around the time where we would highlight our next broadcast, which is, as always, brought to you by Luminous Health, from Anne Arundel Medical Center to Doctors Community Medical Center, more than 100 primary and specialty care locations. We bring personalized care to your neighborhood. Well, we can't look ahead to 2026 just yet. So, of course, we want to say thank you to everybody who has tuned in all season long here on NBC Sports Engine. We're so glad you have made us a small part of your summer, your soccer summer, if you will. Between the men's team, the women's team that wrapped up last weekend as well. It has been quite a couple weeks that we've spent with you here from Navy Marine Corps Memorial Stadium. And Nelton, as always, it's a pleasure to have done it alongside of you with the men's team this year. Your first full season as broadcaster.
Yeah, my rookie season.
You are Rookie of the Year without a doubt, my friend.
Yeah, it's incredible. You know, we talk about the team, we talk about the supporters, but we often talk. I think we talked about this with Fred and Steve on a halftime talk about everybody that makes this possible off of the field as well. You know, the leadership that is here watching the game, and also here. You know, like I came here for the last game of the season last year. Very impressed with the professionalism and everything else. Brendan, you and I talk about like a lot of things, and also why you do an off season. You don't have an off season.
No.
You go back to Maryland and everything. So it's very professional from the start. You know, that's something that was very attractive also for me when Coach Colin invited me to play, because I knew if he's going involved in something like that, would be treated as professional from top to bottom. So.
Of course, it all starts with Mark Fratto, who runs this whole circus, if you will, and obviously all the guys in the control room, Corey, Jack, Sager, Justin, Mike, Wayne, guys that aren't here, Kevin, Mike Morse, young Ryan, everybody. I think Diaz is the only one that's been here, aside from us, for every game this season. They'll tell me if I'm wrong. But it is, you know, two guys that happen to be talking a lot about soccer in your living rooms or whatever it might be, but it is a whole cast of characters behind the scenes that makes all of this happen.
Yeah.
We're ever so grateful for each and every one of them.
Another day I was on the soccer field, shocking, and someone came and said, I watch the games with my AirPods on and listening to you guys. I said, oh, that's great, you know.
Into the box, clink! He was shoved. It's a goal kick. But as we're trying to be all nice and genuine, they have the nerve to keep going, and Dan Klink almost finding the back of the net. Just a little bit of late contact on that one. He had gotten the shot off before it, though.
Yeah, but that doesn't give him the rights to do whatever he wants after the shot. Now, I always think about this, like if it was outside of the box, that would be a foul.
And now Annapolis motoring forward. Latchy going to the end of this one, trying to square it. Humani wants a handball. From up here, it did look like it might have struck one on the ground. Of course, the referee, not a great view of it. As we take a look at the replay, we will not have the benefit of the video assistant referee, and it was a trailing arm there of Sandor Preda, who's just come into the game. My goodness.
Yeah, there's a clear handball. I was talking recently about it. We saw a couple weeks ago the game USA-Mexico when the player
yes,
clearly,
very similar.
And apparently there's this rule where if the player is landing on the ground, of course, and the ball touches his hand while he's supporting it, it's not a handball. I didn't know that.
Shot from
honest.
Charlottesville goes awry.
So, but the handball rule has changed so many times.
I don't even know what it
years.
is anymore.
Yeah.
It's tough to keep up with at this point. And it's such a subjective thing as well, it seems.
Yeah.
Even in the Premier League, when you have the benefit of VAR, it's, well, how does this particular officiating crew evaluate that as a handball or not?
Yeah, because unless you're Luis Suarez in a World Cup, nobody clearly wants to do a handball, even more inside the box.
Diego Maradona, but other than that.
Yeah. But, you know, so it's very subjective. It's hard. You know, he could have called that one. So it was a handball. I always think about if it was outside of the box, would that be a foul? So if it's inside the box, it's PK.
I believe there was a yellow card issued to the Annapolis bench, it seemed. Also, I neglected to mention Trey in that list of our guys behind the camera. I'm sure I'll hear from him on that later. And, of course, anybody else that we may have missed. Game sprung to life as we were trying to give credit to the guys that make it all happen. And this very special shout out to Mark Frana, who, as I said, is the ringleader of us, who's living out a long-time dream of his, doing the public address announcing for the New York Yankees.
Oh yeah, he's all over the place. Every time I see him on social media, he's in a different place, doing a different sport. It's clearly living the life.
Here was the PA voice of the Wizards, the Commanders, and Mark, a huge Yankees fan, as his whole family is, so have a dream come true for him, and we're very happy for him and proud of him and excited for him. I'm very thankful as well for everything he does to make these broadcasts possible. Feels like the last day of school.
Going back a little bit here, Kobe Kiomani making really good runs centrally. You know, like.
And this will be a foul. This game's starting to get a little chippier. You can feel some of the emotions spilling over as Matty Helfrich was fouled. Luke Dunn took the restart. And it was Lucas Stabio who commits the foul. Right in front of a lot of our Blues staff over there in the corner, many of whom we featured on our halftime interviews this season. Of course, our team photographers and video crew as well. Now Luke Dunn will stand over this free kick. So it sounds like Emmett Kirshner may have picked up a yellow card as well when it was given to the bench. Now Annapolis, a really good chance with time winding down on 2025 from this set piece. Luke Dunn stands over it. It's a two-man wall for the visiting Charlottesville Blues. Luke Dunn lobs this one in. Mikey Johnson got ahead to it. Last off of Johnson and out for a goal kick. And Elton, we've had a special assistant with us tonight as well. First, our save of the match, which was Owen Allegro back in the first half, and that is presented by Picante Mexican Cocina, your local spot for Taco Tuesdays, friendly happy hours, and the most authentic Mexican cuisine in Annapolis. But yes, we have been helped out here in the booth tonight, playing dad duty as well.
Yeah, my son Maddox able to come to the game today while my wife got called in, so came here and be able to appreciate the game on the booth too.
He's been very helpful and assisting in all operations tonight. Assistant
all the
director. Somebody has to. It's the last game of the season. We can't have leftovers. Mikey Johnson, strong in the air. Dan Klink brings it down. Able to keep it in play for Luke Dunn. Outside the foot pass to the far side. Now Annapolis. Kiomani. Now Snowden. Rolled out to the far side. Curling ball in, head to it. What was it last off of? It was last off Charlottesville. A corner kick coming up for Annapolis.
That's something that Luke Dunn brings to the game now, like long balls, corners, free kicks. He's very good at it. No, we didn't mention him, but he's another guy that he is here since year one. He was still a high schooler on that year and doing really well on this minutes that he got in this last game.
It was your center back partner for
yeah.
a large part of that first year, and position that was not his primary one, and neither was it yours at the start as well. Sent in, great set piece delivery, as we often have seen from Luke Dunn. So last year as well, he took a monster shot from distance. That was on a beeline for the top corner. Annapolis wants a handball on the far side again. They're not going to get it, but it's coughed up to the far side. Lofted in. Johnson nods it down. Now Ian Webb-Johnson forward from the back. Annapolis committing the big bodies up top. As we're about 3 minutes away from the 90, we will certainly have stoppage time. It remains to be seen how much. Annapolis, a bombardment into the box. And quick to win it back as well. Johnson flicks it on, saved by J.P. Martin. Tougher than it looks to get your feet set as you're retreating. But Johnson's been a nuisance up top. And it was actually offside was the call before that, but Martin didn't know that, so needed to stay with the play. Charlottesville has a throw in high up the field. Throw in to be taken by Tyler Miller. And for you DC United fans, not that Tyler Miller, not the goalkeeper that was in Audi Field for a few years. Thrown to the edge of the area. A swarm of blue shirts collapses and wins the ball back. Here's Dan Klink. Cumania beeline through the middle. And this one not on the mark. It's cut out. And Joshua Yoder is very impressive at the back for Charlottesville. This game might just end as a track meet. Annapolis whistled for the foul right in front of the Charlottesville bench. We'll have another yellow card out of the pocket of the referee. I believe that to be on Luke Dunn. Just left a foot in there late. Charlottesville a set piece. Taken practically from the bench. It's Zachary Martins out of Gainesville, Florida. We'll look to drive this into the box. It's getting late in the game and in the season. The team's not in playoff contention, but you wouldn't know that from how they've played tonight. Bicycle kick from distance. Allegro alert to it. There will be 7 minutes of added time. That was nearly made very different by that acrobatic attempt. Oh, ball over the top. Flag is up again. Kobe Kiumeni. Seen him gesture a couple times. It seems as if he wants to service a little bit sooner. He's a very quick player. He's trying to time that run. And how much of that could be, and not to, take away from Brady Giho or Dan Klink or Ryan Blau or whoever's been up top. Kobe Kiumeni is a bit quicker than most of them. Volley from distance as well wide. How much do you kind of have to calibrate to, okay, I'm sending this ball over the top. Oh, it's a different guy. I need to send it that little bit sooner.
Yeah, players personal. Like some players, that's part of knowing who you're playing with. Also, some plays, definitely, we, like Dan Klink should have played that ball a little bit early to Kobe. But sometimes also the player is running too early before the server has the ball in control. Everything has to be timed really well. But yeah, he's been making a lot of central runs really well. He's hungry to score, no? That happens when you put a player that's not used to score goals in the position that he can. So that's my time to shine. So
hasn't yet scored this season. Could it be his moment in the dying embers of this game that turns things on its head? 2 subs there for Annapolis. Dan Klink comes out, as does Rich Moneth. 2 deserved rests. And play will continue. Bearing down Charlottesville in behind and scoring. What on earth happened there? In stoppage time, the visitors have taken a 3-2 lead. Every Annapolis player crowding the official. Absolutely incensed. This game has had a different tone in the second half. Not a particularly good one, as Matty Helfrich, wearing the captain's armband, makes the protest. It was Ian Webb Johnson. It looks like he was certainly fouled.
And also look offsides. Both things. So definitely contact on his plant foot.
Without the ball.
And then could be a little bit in front.
Not sure if we're able to see that angle a little bit wider again, as we might be able to see if that, I mean, it doesn't make a difference.
There's definitely contact on the initial play. Definitely a contact. That's a foul.
Might have just been onside. He got ahead of the ball in the end, but it does seem that the pass was all right. Well, you felt like this game had one last twist in it. The Annapolis fans hoping that's not the final one. We were getting you those subs. That was Dan Klink replaced and Rich Moneth out as well. Ben McGovern comes in, as does Mikey Ravel. Luke Dunn directing traffic. This stadium has seen some late game dramatics in years past. Haven't seen too much of it in 2025. Is there one last moment there? Dunn sends this towards the back post. Tangle of legs. And has he given a penalty?
Yeah.
I believe he has. Oh, my. A yellow card issued to Charlottesville, and it's their turn to be enraged. Not that they ever do, but the Annapolis fans hopefully haven't left this one. Was that Ian Webb Johnson that went to ground? Mikey Ravel was also there. Tough to tell if it was the Charlottesville legs that got tangled up, or is it two pairs of blue socks? Doesn't matter in the end. It'll be a penalty kick for Annapolis. Luke Dunn steps up. A second-year player. Scored in the last home game. Luke Dunn for some 2025 late game drama for Annapolis. Justice for the Blues in a 3-3 scoreline that might just close out 2025. A game that's been fired up with emotion. Hasn't been without its share of controversy, but Luke Dunn, composed as ever from the spot, brings the Blues of Annapolis level with the Blues of Charlottesville, 3-3. It was personal. Over the top, Onallegro collects. Well, we were promised 7 minutes of added time. We've had 2 goals in that time, because of course we did. We'll see how much is added on past that.
You spoke too early about late games action here.
Curse of the commentator often has a negative connotation, but is there one last twist in the tale? The final chapter of this 2025 storybook for Annapolis. Our first ever season in USL League 2. So many off-the-field victories, setting the USL League 2 attendance record in the first ever home game. Several big wins. This would be a big draw to close out the year, but it's not done yet. Offside for Charlottesville is Luke Dunn's goal. The final installment. Mind you, it was his set piece that was sent into the box that won Annapolis the penalty kick.
Yeah, like I mentioned before, Luke Dunn brings that. Oh, wow.
And this crowd is into it now. Luke Dunn dumped to the turf. Another yellow card out of the pocket. It's tough to keep up with all the bookings in this one.
Yeah, Luke Dunn brings, let's see the replay.
That was on Marcus Nana-Sinkum, player from Richmond, Virginia, and collegiately at Holy Cross.
That's contact with the face now that can be interpreted but more than just a yellow.
An orange card, perhaps.
Luke Dunn brings the, like I said, the long pass, the free kick. So very composed on the PK. He has impacted this game really well. He's very hungry now to get those minutes and to enjoy those minutes.
Is there any more enjoyment to be had? We are well past the 7 minutes we were promised. Only the referee knows how much time is left. Dunn lobs this into the box. Punched by Martin. Still loose. Still with Annapolis. McGovern. Takahashi first time ball. Headed away. There's Luke Dunn alert to it. Knocked all the way back. Square for Taku Takahashi. Allegro sends this one high into the Annapolis sky. Johnson tries to go up and wins the header, but it's Luke Madden who bests him. Mikey Johnson sent for a run. Now give it away to Charlottesville. Both teams not content settling for a point. Charlottesville circling. Ian Webb-Johnson, emphatic. We have played 100 minutes in the final game of the regular season. There's now a Charlottesville player down outside the top of the box, so this game will roll on. Tommy D'Annunzio, Brian Kim, Peyton Pemberton, Travis Brown, the Charlottesville coaching staff, hoping to escape Annapolis with a point. All the way back to Madden. Over to the far side. Sent forward again, Luke Dunn. And that is it. Late game drama in the final game of 2025. Annapolis drawing level in the final moments with our player of the game presented by Liquefied. Your go-to for cutting-edge creative, marketing, PR, and web solutions. It has to be Luke Dunn, whose stoppage time penalty kick brought Annapolis level 3-3. Elton, as we close out this game and close out 2025, your closing thoughts on a night that was back and forth, a lot like this season for Annapolis.
Yeah, it wouldn't be a blue season if you didn't have a game like this. Now, and that shows the resilience and the willing to win that we have, even when the game doesn't matter that much. You know, like we always playing to win and always to put on a show. And like I said, good season, positive season for us to adapt, learn, and come back stronger next year.
Already excited for 2026. We hope you join us then as you have all season long on NBC Sports Engine. What a year it's been. The first in USL League 2 for the Annapolis Blues. They added a women's team as well. There was a lot of drama this season, just like we had tonight. From the opening whistle to the final whistle, we had goals galore, and the Annapolis fans, as they were all season long, treated to some exciting action. So for my partner, Elton Oliveira Santos, and our entire crew, I'm Brendan Hartlove saying so long, and thank you for watching your Annapolis Blues.
The 2025 Annapolis Blues are presented by Adaptic Engineering, software, systems, and cybersecurity solutions in support of the intelligence community. Annapolis Moms Media, the ultimate destination for moms and dads. Join the community today. BFPE International, providing all types of fire protection systems since 1970. Chesapeake Eye Care, the choice is clear. Annapolis' premier eye care practice for all your vision needs. Humdinger, trusted by leading brands to create unforgettable experiences. Learn more at humdingerproductions.com. Forward Brewing, find us in Eastport for craft beer, delicious food, and Annapolis' best outdoor dining. And Home Genius Exteriors, the top choice for roofing and siding in your neighborhood.
Great game, Blues! Chesapeake Eye Care and Laser Center is proud to work with Vision Innovation Partners, a leading manager of 24 ophthalmology practices in the Mid-Atlantic region. If you aren't local to the Annapolis area, chances are we have a premier eye care practice right near you. Please visit our website at www.visioninnovationpartners.com to see a full list of all of our practice locations. See you at the next game.
The 2025 Annapolis Blues season is presented by In-Home Stone, specializing in counters, tile, and stone restoration with expert craftsmanship and quality service. Indian Creek School, the premier Annapolis area independent school, where kindness is currency, well-being is priority, and excellence is relentlessly pursued. Liquefied, your go-to for cutting-edge creative, marketing, PR, and web solutions. Pup Scouts, give your pup the all-star treatment with Maryland Pup Scouts. Visit mdpupscouts.com today. Picante Mexican Cocina, your local spot for Taco Tuesdays. Friendly happy hours and the most authentic Mexican cuisine in Annapolis. Rehab to Perform, empowering you to move better and live strong. Recover like the pros. Rosso Commercial Real Estate, businesses rely on Rosso to help secure great spaces. There's no better team in the commercial real estate business. And the Annapolis Mall. Come check out our newest attractions. Pollo Campanero, Be With Me Playseum, Pop Mart Robo Shop, and coming soon, Dick's House of Sport and Dave & Buster's.
The Annapolis Blues are making waves. Luminous Health is proud to be the official healthcare partner of the Blues this season. Together, we're teaming up to champion a healthier, stronger community. From injury prevention to recovery, our orthopedic specialists keep local athletes in the game. 2 local organizations, 1 winning team.
The 2025 Annapolis Blues season is presented by Saunders Wealth Management, a private wealth advisory practice of Ameriprise Financial Services. Watermark Cruises, immersing you in the history, culture, and fun of the Chesapeake area. The Westin Annapolis, unique charm and convenient amenities like free Wi-Fi, heavenly beds, and a pet-free attitude with its downtown location. YTech, seeking top computer engineering and cybersecurity professionals. Join us today at ytech.com/careers. Luminous Health, from Anne Arundel Medical Center to Doctors Community Medical Center and more than 100 primary and specialty care locations. We bring personalized care to your neighborhood. Hague Quality Water of Maryland, your home team water treatment company. And Annapolis Painting Services, your home improvement MVP since 1985.